Hello everybody and welcome back. My name is Kari and today I'm doing my September TBR. There's only 2 rollovers from the month of August and I will let you know when I get to those because, well, there were only 3 total that I didn't get to in August and only 2 of them did I really want to get to before too long has passed. That said, let's get started. Also, like August, this is going to be an ambitious TBR because I am just really in a reading mood. Even as I apply for jobs and hope and pray to God that that happens soon, I just really want to read books. So I'm going to see how many I can get through. The first one is The Gifts of Imperfection by Brené Brown. This is sort of a self-help type book that was a gift from one of my aunts. I think for my birthday last year, probably. And it's pretty short, and it's just sitting on my shelf, so I want to get to it purely out of curiosity. Next is When Dimple Met Rishi by Sanya Menon. This is a contemporary YA, which you know I don't read much of, but I bought this one late July, and it's been staring at me with its very bright spine, and so I just want to read it so that I can put it on my shelf and say I've read it. It also sounds interesting. It is, like I said, contemporary. A young woman with Indian heritage, as in subcontinent India, not Native American, Indian heritage, is being told that she has to agree to an arranged marriage and doesn't want to, so she goes to college and it goes from there. The next 2 are Shadowcaster and Stormcaster by Cinda Williams Chima. I finally read Flamecaster, more in my wrap-up, which is the first in this new series, which is a continuation of the Seven Realms series, which you do have to read beforehand. It's quite a thing. But I want to get to these since I finally got to Flamecaster, and in this way I can kind of just binge the series. I also know Reagan over at Peruse Project absolutely adores these books, so that's a pretty good indication. Next is one of the rollovers from August, which is Alan Turing The Enigma by Andrew Hodges. This book is actually smaller than it looks. While it looks absolutely huge, it's not actually that big. It's less than 700 pages, which impresses me, namely because this book is 957, and yet when you put them side by side, let's see if I can do this, there we go. When you put them side by side like that, Alan Turing looks longer, right? But it's not. It's actually 200 pages shorter. Go figure. At any rate, I do want to get to this because, like I said before, I've seen the movie The Imitation Game and really enjoyed it, and I do want to know more about World War II, and I find myself craving that kind of thing. So this seems like a good, non-Pacific World War II book to start with. The other rollover is The Tudor Adventure by James Evans. This is a non-fiction about the Tudor era, specifically starting in 1553. Yep, 1553, which is at the start of Mary I's reign, also known as Bloody Mary. And they are trying to find the Northeast Passage. Again, as I've said multiple times, I didn't know there was a thing such as the Northeast Passage that they were trying to find, although I read an article recently that they're trying to find the passage through the Arctic again. Global warming and all that fun stuff. I really hope they don't drown. I have very low hopes for it though. At any rate, hoping to read how they tried to figure this out in 1553 because I suspect it doesn't end well. And then, just to stick with the Tudor theme, I am currently reading, because it is still August at the moment I'm filming this, The Life of Elizabeth I by Alison Weir, which is a biography of Elizabeth I, who you all know I absolutely adore. There's several chapters on the relationship between Robert Dudley, Earl of Leicester, and Elizabeth I. They were childhood friends, and when Robert got married to Amy Robsart, Amy just stayed at home in the country. Eventually, Amy died in suspicious circumstances. To this day, we're not sure if she killed herself, was killed, accidentally tripped, nobody knows. And there were a bunch of rumors going around at the time. Although, I digress, I suspect none of you care about this, but it all leads up to the next book I am reading, which is Kenilworth by Walter Scott. It takes place during this time. It explores the relationship in a fictional sense between Dudley, Amy, and Elizabeth, and all of the rumors surrounding it. Kenilworth was where Amy died. She fell down a flight of steps, or was pushed, or tripped, whatever. They found her body at the bottom of the stairs at Kenilworth, and eventually Robert went back and bought Kenilworth. So this is a fictional account of that event and their relationships, and it's also considered a classic, or at least by me, so I'm really excited to read this and just continue in my Elizabethan trend. I realized that was a really long Elizabethan tangent and I apologize, but I love them so much. And then the last two that I want to read are because I am going to be participating in the read-along for the Nevernight Chronicles with Piera over at Piera Ford and Katrina over at Little Book Owl. Technically, the first one, Nevernight, is going to be done during September and the live show will be at the end of the month, and then the next one, God's Grave, will be done in October with the live show at the end of that month. However, because my life is kind of up in the air right now, and therefore I am going to try and read both of these books in the month of September. So I have God's Grave and Nevernight by J. Kristoff. These books are about a female assassin. Apparently the first one is basically the school for assassin and the second one is her going and getting revenge. I think. But I don't know, I keep hearing about them and a read-along seemed a good excuse to finally read them and motivate me to get into these very popular books that everybody seems to love, but I only have a mediocre interest in. Mediocre is not the right word. Those are all of the books that I want to read in September. I'm hoping to get through all of these. Again, like August, it's overly ambitious, I know that. However, there are at least 3 of these books that I can finish in a day, so I'm hoping to be able to get through all of them. Fingers crossed, right? At any rate, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, like and subscribe, Goodreads down below, you know what to do. Let me know in the comments if you have read any of these books, what you think of any of these books, if you're participating in the read-along, and then we can talk about it. But until my next video, bye!